Naruto, the legendary swordsman of Konoha. Chapter 1, Naruto meets the Seven. Outside of Konoha, in front of Konohagakure no Sato's gate there are 7 ninjas. The tallest ninja is looking at the structure and said, "So this is Konohagakure no Sato. It doesn't look like much." The smallest ninja said, "Sharky, we shouldn't judge this country, after all we are the ones who are asking for their help." In addition, they were able to defeat the strongest Biju to exist, the Kyuubi no Kitsune. Kushimaru said, "You know, I have a small problem with Konoha. Mangetsu quipped, "You always have a problem with a country. What's the problem with this one?" Kushimaru rolled his eyes at Mangetsu. He pulled out one of his sewing needles and threw it at Mangetsu. He said, "From what my sources tell me, Konoha became really soft. I heard because of that event they lost a lot of their shinobi. This could be a problem as we don't know their set of minds when we need them to perform or if we let them train our young ones. Could they hinder them?" Amuri butted in, "Needle, your points are duly noted. However, they do have a lot of powerful teachers. Remember, their teaching line has had some of the strongest teaching lineage. For example, Harashima and Tobirama team, the team that had the Sandaime Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, and both members of the deadliest ninja duo to exist, Hamura Mitokado and Koharu Udatane. The Sandaime then taught the 3 Sannin Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru. Jiraiya then taught the most power Hokage and possibly the most powerful Kage of all time, the Yellow Flash, Minato Namikaze. He then taught Rin, the killer of Sin, and the former ANBU captain Kakashi Hatake, the copy ninja. Imagine that is just one line. So, imagine that with one of those kinds of lines what Kiri could develop. In addition, Konoha shinobi are bloodline specialists. They have jujutsus, hatajutsus, and elemental kekkei genkais. Our young ones can be taught how to harness their abilities. Think of the possibilities of a Kiri, Konoha, and Suna alliance. The other 2 would not dare to attack us or them." Zabuza was hoping that Konoha said yes. He said, "How true, short circuit. Let's hope that they think the same way and accept our offer. If not, then we are in big trouble. Well, let's stop dilly-dallying and go in." Inside, Naruto Uzumaki is running from a group of the daily angry mob. Naruto is 6 years old and about 3 feet 5 inches tall. He has dirty blonde hair. He has deep blue eyes that have the shape of a star. He has a round-shaped face with 3 whisker marks on each side of his face. His clothing consisted of a tethered orange jacket with a spiral on the right arm and the back, and a ripped-up torn pair of orange pants. The reason Naruto was running from the mob is simple: they wanted to kill the demon. The villagers believe Naruto is a demon due to the fact of what happened on the day of his birth. On October 10, 6 years ago, the Kyuubi no Kitsune, the 9-tailed fox, attacked and destroyed the village. Their brave and fearless leader, the Yondaime Hokage, was able to seal the monster into an orphan. The boy is the one running now. The boy is blissfully unaware of his unfortunate cast in life. What he did know was that he had to follow his instincts to either fight or flight. With that sword in that guy's hands and a crowbar in another's, it is easy to choose for a 5-year-old who has no sort of training whatsoever. He ran his little legs to death. He was cutting corners trying to escape. He even jumped fences trying to get away from them. As he ran his little heart out, he bumped into someone. Naruto fell down to the ground. He rubbed his butt as he looked at the person he hit. His eyes became wide. He saw 7 people. He read about this group of people in a book that Gigi let him read. They are the Kiri no Shino Bigatana Shishinin Shu. The one he bumped into is Zabuza Momochi. Zabuza is a tall and noticeably muscular man with pale skin, short spiky black hair, brown eyes, and small eyebrows. He is normally seen wearing bandages like a mask over the bottom half of his face. Under his mask, he had a relatively narrow jawline and jagged teeth, a trait he shared with his fellow swordsman. He wore his forehead protector sideways on his head, and prior to his defection from Kirigakure, donned its standard uniform and flak jacket. On his back, he has the cleaving knife known as the Kubikiri Bocho. The one next to him is Kisame Hashigaki. Kisame is a very tall, muscular, and strong ninja. He has a distinctive shark-like appearance, completed with pale blue skin, small, round white eyes, gill-like facial markings under his eyes, gills on his shoulders and sharp triangular teeth. Much like the other members of the Swordsman. He also styled his dull blue hair in the form of a shark fin. He is wearing a dark sleeveless shirt paired with matching pants, provided with a waist guard, and striped arm and leg warmers. On his back there is his sword called the Samahata. The one next to Kisame is Kushimaru. Kushimaru is both very thin and tall in stature, giving him an overall gangling appearance. Due to his service within the ANBU, his face is concealed by a white porcelain mask, with a darker colored triangle on its lower part, slits for eye holes and Kirigakure's symbol carved on its top. His attire consisted of a sleeveless black shirt, matching pants, complete with a waist guard, and Kirigakure's striped wrist and leg guards. He also wears bandages around his neck and possibly around the lower half of his face, much like Zabuza and the other members of his generation of the Kiri swordsmen. His sword is Nuabari. The other is Jinin Akabino. Jinin has a dark beard and hair which he ties into a top knot. The remainder of his face appears to be rather angular and features a very protuberant nose. He wears a dark poncho-like cloth over standard swordsman's attire, consisting of a sleeveless dark shirt and matching pants, provided with a waist guard, along with pinstriped arm and leg warmers typical of his village and Kirigakure's forehead protector. He also has bandages around his neck like all the members of the swordsman. His sword is the Kaburawari. The one next to him is Jinpachi Munashi. Jinpachi has dark hair and a beard which he wears in strands adorned with beads. His lips are also noticeably dark in color. The top of his head is covered in bandages, and he has an eye patch covering his left eye, sprouting from under his Kirigakure forehead protector he wears an extremely loose, long-sleeved pinstriped shirt and black pants, accentuated by the presence of striped leg warmers matching his shirt. Like the other members of his generation of swordsmen, he also wears bandages around his neck. His sword is the Shibuki. The one on the other side is Aimuri Ringo. Aimuri is relatively short in comparison with the other members of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. Aimuri has long, light-colored hair and, together with a forehead protector, Aimuri also wears a simple cloth around the head, distinctively tied at both sides so as the ends of the material protrude upwards, while the remainder of hair is allowed to flow downwards. Amuri wears a loose, pinstriped long-sleeved shirt with a dark obi around the waist, black pants which get much looser near the ends, a resembling hakama, and striped leg warmers. Like all the other members of Amuri's generation of swordsmen, Amuri wears bandages loosely tied around the neck. His swords are the twin swords called kiba. The final one is Mengetsu Hozuki. Mengetsu has relatively long white hair and pointed, shark-like teeth, a trait that all known members of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist possess. He wears an outfit which consists of a dark sleeveless shirt, light-colored pants and striped leg warmers typical of his village. He carries a water bottle in a belt around his waist. He wears bandages around his neck, another trait shared by the 7 swordsmen, and a standard kirigakure forehead protector. Overall, Mengetsu carries a scroll that can put the 7 swords into it. His sword is Hiramakarei. Naruto was extremely scared, as any child would be. You just bumped into a guy compared to you looks like a giant and will eat you without a second thought. In addition, you still have that mob looking for you. This is definitely not Naruto's day. He started to back up as his natural instinct to run kicked in. Zabuza looked down at the little gaki. The gaki for some reason interested him. He knew this boy was a pipsqueak. There were definitely some signs of starvation by the fact his stomach was starting to hang out. Yet with all of that he could feel a potential that if tapped in correctly could create a powerful shinobi that the elemental countries have ever seen. Zabuza lifted the kid up from the ground with one hand. Before he could say anything to the boy, the mob appeared in view. They were shouting such things as "There's the demon. Let's kill him. Let's burn him by the stake," etc. Zabuza frowned, but no one could see it. As they reached closer to the boy, Naruto tried to run in any direction other than the mob's direction. He was stopped by Kisame as he held him by the back of his orange jacket's collar. Naruto had fearful eyes as he thought this was going to be the end of his miserable life. He closed his eyes as he hoped that he died swiftly. Yet nothing happened to him. He was still dangling from the hands, or to be technical, hand of Kisame. He opened his eyes to see Zabuza holding his head-cleaving knife out. Zabuza growled at the group of confused, self-righteous civilians, "You better leave the gaki alone or you won't be alive." The civilians were cowering as they felt a great amount of killing intent behind Zabuza's wise advice. They started to run away as they did not want to fight a man with a sword that is bigger than they are. The 7 thought that these group of people were a bunch of weaklings and weren't worthy of their time. Yet there was something that caught them off guard. The young child was not even slightly affected by the killing intent. They knew the amount is enough to affect a medium chunin. The boy is clearly not a chunin, or for that matter an academy student. So why wasn't he affected by it? This train of thought was going through all of their heads. Zabuza kneeled down to the boy and asked him, "Gaki, do you know where the Hokage Tower is?" Naruto nodded furiously as he said, "You want to meet with Hokage? I can take you." Naruto started to run north as quick as his little legs can take him. Zabuza had a tick mark on his forehead. This boy looks like he has too much energy to use. Kushimaru's eyes narrowed as he noticed something. Kushimaru said, "Seriously, I have a huge problem with Konoha. You see how some of these genin are so blissfully aware of everything? I mean, sure, we have an appointment with the Hokage. That doesn't mean the shinobi here should be on arms about seeing 7 people with weapons such as these. I mean, think about it, the Samahata is a sword that has been feared long before Sharky over here had it. Yet the ninjas are totally indifferent about it. Aim said, relax Kushi. We're going to talk to the Hokage about it. Hokage. The Sandame was doing paperwork. He was wearing his Hokage robes with the hat included. He truly hated doing paperwork. It was just one big representation of how much Konoha has become more about being a bureaucracy than a dictatorship. It is about sign this, sign that, veto this bill, veto that bill. It has become frustrating as he has yet to do a quota of the successful genin. For that matter, the well-renowned Ninja Academy had become nothing but a joke. How in the world can you become the Kunoichi of the year by getting a good grade in flower pressing? Flower pressing, for heaven's sake. The Kyuubi attack has put a heavy toll on their forces. So, they had to create a facade by making the genin exams 3 extremely easy jutsus: the Bushin, Kawarimi, and the Henge. This made it so they can appear to be as strong as they were before. He sighed as this can be the reason Konoha falls. He is truly thinking about an overhaul over the whole system. He remembered he had meeting, but he couldn't remember who it was with. As his hand was getting carpal tunnel, his secretary's voice came over the intercom. She said, a crude, disgusted voice, Hokage-sama, the boy and 7 of his friends want to see you. He knew exactly who she was talking about. He could only do so much to punish her and the civilians, as they have the ninjas around their weak fingers, for now anyway. He did want to know who these 7 said friends were. He said, let them in. A faint buzzing sound was heard on the other side. A loud, boisterous voice came out, hey Gigi. I hear that you're getting older every day. The boy surely knew how to put a smile on an old man's face. Sarutobi replied, Naruto, it is great to see you. Who are friends? I hear you have 7 of them. You know 7 is an extremely lucky number. Naruto was jumping up and down as he was energetic as ever. He said, yeah, these guys helped and protected me from the mob who tried to hurt me. Sarutobi had a sad smile on his face. He did want to meet who these people were. Sarutobi asked, Naruto, can I see these friends? Naruto nodded as he asked them to come in. Sarutobi had his head down at first, writing something. His smile became one of shock. Right in front of him was the 7 legendary ninja swordsmen of the mist. Sarutobi pressed the button under his desk to warn the ANBU of their presence. He looked on his desk with the peripheral vision that their documentation to be here was signed and processed. He pulled out his pipe and put his strong tobacco in it. He lit it and took a deep breath. He said in a very deep and low voice, what is it that you need? There was an extreme amount of killing intent flaring from the old man. The 7 swordsmen started to sweat a little, but otherwise they were as stoic as ever. Naruto, of course, is oblivious to the tension and killing intent, said, MGG, why are the birds falling out of the sky? If it was at any other time that would have been funny, but it did break the ice and the tension. It enabled Amuri to speak. He said, Hokage-sama, it is an honor to meet you. I am Amuri Ringo, the Tanraku and the leader of the 7 swordsmen of the mist. The extremely muscular one is Zabuza the Kirigakure no Kijin. The one with the blue skin is Kisame the Motenai Biju. The one with the mask is Kushimaru the Nuomomo Shisatsu. The one with the big nose is Jinin the Kapamajin. The one with eye patch is Jinpachi the Kirigakure no Manako. Finally, the one with the water bottle is Mangetsu the Fuin no Kusaisha. Sarutobi said, "Hello gentlemen. I must say you have some of the most interesting monikers I have ever heard. Please have a seat. Do any of you smoke? Would you like a cup of tea perhaps?" For the 7 swordsmen of the mist to visit another one of the 5 major villages, it must be really important. "Gentlemen, I'm all ears." The 7 swordsmen sat down in the chairs provided. Amuri said, "We don't smoke, but tea would be nice, thank you." Sarutobi called in one of his other secretaries, Hikari, in. He said, "Hikari-chan, would you be a dear and bring our guest some tea please?" She nodded feverishly and walked out. However, before the door closed behind her, the 7 swordsmen saw how she looked at Naruto. She sneered at the poor boy as he looked at her with deep confusion. The 7 decided to stay quiet and wait for Ms. Hikari to come back. A few moments later, Hikari came back with the tea and gave everyone in the room some. Sarutobi took a drink of his tea. He said, "Amuri-san, can you explain to me why you are here?" After he took a sip of his tea, Amuri said, "Hokage-dano, we are here to tell you what's going on in Kiri. We are in the midst of a civil war. The Yondaime Mizukage has put into place a bloodline purge. They are destroying people with bloodlines or special abilities. Before you start thinking that we want your help as in fighting or such things like that, that is not what we want. We want you to do is give the people with bloodlines and their supporters asylum in Konoha temporarily. We have a plan to have a coup d'état in Kiri. We just need a base for our young ones." Sarutobi was in deep concentration. This could be an opportunity of a lifetime. Then again, this could be the greatest fall of Konoha. He leaned back in his chair as a million thoughts were going through his head. He said, "I see. What I want to know is, what will Konoha get out of this? I see that this helps your needs. What I don't see is what we gain from this. We would love to help your people, but we need some incentive to help you. We need some compensation. Do you have any in mind?" Aim was in a real pickle. He didn't know what he could give them. They needed the money for when the invasion is finished. Something kept nagging at him. The way the boy kept getting cold hard stare from those who were clearly older, and the way the Hokage had a guilty look on his face. He had an idea. He said, "Hokage-dano, what is the boy's name?" Sarutobi was suspicious as to why they have such interest in Naruto. He asked, "May I ask why you want to know the poor boy?" Aim replied, "Well, Hokage-sama, he looked like he would be an amazing shinobi when he grew up. His chakra levels are higher than anyone I've ever seen for someone his age. I just wanted to know who he was, as he is very unusual." Sarutobi leaned back into his chair and said, "Well, Amuri-san, his name is Naruto Uzumaki." This caused the 7 swordsmen eyes to become a little wide. Kushimaru was the most surprised, as the Uzumaki had something to deal with the founding of Kirigakure. Kushimaru said, "Hokage-dano, is Naruto-san a true-blood Uzumaki?" Sarutobi nodded, causing Kushimaru to continue. He said, "Uzumakis are known for their use of kenjutsu, ninjutsu, and fuinjutsu. I was wondering if we could bring Naruto with us so he can harness his abilities. Before you say no, let's think of the possibilities that we both have. As a group, we are allowed to have apprentices. We try to choose people who are able to harness our techniques. Unfortunately, we have not found an apprentice to pass down our techniques. I believe Naruto can be our apprentice and learn our ninjutsu, kenjutsu, taijutsu, even fuinjutsu. I can guarantee that he could be a Chunin level shinobi or higher when everything is said and done. He thought about it for a moment. This can work as it would take Naruto out of Konoha. Yet they can manipulate his mind to think and act like them. This could cost Konoha in the long run. He also is taking Naruto's feelings into account. You cannot just uproot a child from his home. Yet does Naruto even consider this place a home? He sighed as he asked, "How long are you going to stay here?" "I want to think about this for at least a night. Then I will give an answer in the morning." Amuri accepted this deal. He was kind of happy because the longer they wait, the more of a chance the coup was not going to be successful. For the Hokage to even give it a thought was a great stride. He bowed to the Hokage and said, "Hokage-sama, thank you for your time. May we have a place to stay for the night?" The Hokage gave them a few keys to a hotel and sent them away. Sarutobi was leaning in his chair as he saw Naruto, who somehow befriended the seven. Maybe this could be an advantage after all. Naruto actually followed the seven swordsmen. Ever since he had seen Zabuza pull out his sword against the mob, Naruto was extremely interested in swords and wanted to learn kenjutsu. So, he followed them hoping to find and learn some technique or something. So, he ran and ducked between alleyways. The seven swordsmen of the mist knew they were being followed by the Gaki. Using their ANBU hand signs, they started to speak. Amuri said, "He's still following us, why?" Kisame grinned as he said, "Looks like we have a fan in Konoha. Do you guys want to lose him or what?" Jinin said, "Well, let's see. Let's have some fun. Split up and meet at the hotel. If he catches one of us, we will teach him something." The others loved the idea. They agreed without a thought. They said, "On your mark, get set, go." They separated from each other and went many different ways. Naruto's eyes went wide. He chased after them. After all, Naruto is not one to give up. 2 hours later. The seven were barely even sweating. The only one that was really sweating was Mangetsu. That was only because he had to stay hydrated, so he made himself sweat. They all met up at the hotel. They were slightly disappointed as Naruto wasn't able to catch them. They shrugged and were about to go into the hotel, but something happened. Someone dropped down from a tree. The person was sweating up a storm. He was panting as he looked up. He looked up with his amazing shiny blue eyes. He looked at them and said, "I finally caught you. Can you please teach me some cool sword tricks? Pretty please with a cherry on top?" The seven were pretty shocked that they could not detect Naruto. They definitely needed to up their chakra signature training. They grumbled as they all had to teach the boy something. Amuri kneeled down to the boy and said, "Okay Naruto, we will all teach you something. The thing is that we can't teach you kenjutsu because for one you don't have a sword. The second is if we teach you our kenjutsu styles we would be violating the code to only teach kenjutsu to the next generation of the swordsmen. Before we start, why don't we introduce ourselves? You start." Naruto was at first deflated since he won't be able to learn any sword tricks. But he got his spirits back up because someone was willing to teach him something. He said, "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I think I know your names." Yuri was getting amused. This kid is an Uzumaki. The Uzumakis were actually the first generation of the Seven Swordsmen. He also wanted to see if this little child could remember their names. He said, "Oh, is that so? Can you tell me who this big muscular guy is?" He had pointed to Zabuza. Naruto put his hand under his chin. He thought about it for a moment. Then the name came into his head. He said, "Oh yeah, that's any easy one. He is Zabu." The seven except Zabuza tried to hold in their laughter. Zabuza, one of the most dangerous shinobi of his generation, just had his ego deflated by a small child. This will forever change the elemental nations. Naruto has been accepted by the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist. Yuri and Naruto were at the visitors' training ground. Naruto was currently sitting in lotus position as he saw Yuri showing him how to unlock his chakra. Ringo's chakra was flaring all around him. He didn't fully unlock it as it would alert the ANBU. He said, "Naruto-kun, what you must do to unlock your chakra is to create a connection between your mind and body, then synchronize them. To do this, your mind has to match your body. You can't lose concentration as it won't work." Naruto nodded his head furiously as he thought it was so cool that Yuri was able to make his chakra dance around him. So, he closed his eyes and concentrated on the task at hand. As he concentrated on unlocking his Tenketsu points, the ground around him started to shake. A transparent blue light started to cover Naruto. At the same time, a bloody crimson light started to creep in and mix with the blue light. As he concentrated even more, the blue and red lights were swirling around him as if they were fighting each other. Slowly another light was coming. It was bright white and glowing. Yuri's eyes were wide as he has never seen anything like this before. For some reason, this kid here has not one but 3 different chakras flowing through him. Yuri heard of people that has 2 chakras. One was theirs and the other was a demon. They were called Jinchuriki. But this was insane. He knows that Yagura is the container of the 3-tailed turtle, but who is this Naruto Uzumaki? Naruto's eyes started to glow. As he opened his eyes from the pain, his eyes had a jujitsu. Yuri tried to see which one it is, but Naruto closed his eyes again. The auras of light disappeared. Naruto opened his eyes again, but instead of having the jujitsu, his eyes were their original bright blue. Naruto was sweating and panting. He said, "Yuri-sensei, is that what you wanted me to do?" If Yuri was honest with himself, he would not be able to truly answer the question. Naruto, though, doesn't need to know that. Yuri said, "Yes, Naruto-kun, you have unlocked your chakra. The question is, do you know how to control it?" Naruto shook his head, telling Yuri that he didn't know. Yuri said, "Okay, Naruto-kun, one of my partners will teach you how to control it. Take a break for a moment and he will be here shortly." With that, Yuri got up and left to get another member. Naruto, on the other hand, fell on his back. His breathing was ragged. He felt as if his soul was fighting something much bigger than anything he has ever felt before. He wondered, was this how unlocking his chakra was supposed to feel? Naruto's mindscape. In Naruto's mindscape, an event was occurring. When he was unlocking his chakra, he was also unlocking something bigger. The Kyuubi no Kitsune has awoken from her slumber. Kyuubi looks amazing. She has fiery red hair with streaks of blonde highlights that went down to the middle of her back. Her 5'5" frame is curved as if it was an hourglass. Her legs were silky smooth and toned. Her skin is fair and without a single flaw. Her bust was an easy C-cup borderline D-cup. Her face was that of a goddess. She has a heart-shaped face. She has red slitted eyes. She has beautiful plump lips. She has 2 earrings in each ear. She has 9 fluffy red and yellow tails swaging behind her. She stretched her body out as she yawned. She opened her eyes to see that she was not in her bed. In fact, she doesn't even know where she currently was. She looked and noticed that she was in some kind of dark, murky water. She started to wander around looking for Kushina. She feels her presence, but it was definitely diluted. She screamed, "Kushi-chan, where are you?" All it did was make the sounds bounce off the walls. She finally found a light and was surprised at what she has seen. Sand time. The Sandaime had called a meeting with the clan leaders and the elders. This was deeply important as it was the concern about Kiri. He will help the rebels. Now it is just the matter of what will they get out of it. The counselors started to pile on one by one. Shikaku Nara was the first to come in. Shikaku has 2 scars on the right side of his face, which are probably his most noticeable feature. He has dark hair tied up into a spiky ponytail, dark eyes as well as a goatee. His ears are also pierced. Shikaku wears a meshed shirt underneath his flak jacket, a deerskin coat over that and hand guards. He is the Jonin commander and the main representative for the Ninja Council. Behind him was one of his best friends, Inoichi Yamanaka. Inoichi has a long ponytail, darker in shade than his daughter's. He also has blue eyes. Inoichi is seen wearing the standard flak jacket over a black outfit, complete with hand guards, forehead protector, and a sleeveless red coat. He is the Yamanaka clan leader. The next one is Chusa Akimichi. Chosa has long red hair and has markings on his cheeks, with the latter being a common trait in the Akimichi clan. He is wearing a samurai-like outfit which entails a black suit completed with armor that has the clan symbol food on it. He also wears a rope belt, hand guards, and instead of a forehead protector, wears a piece of cloth tied to his head, possibly to hold back his hair. The next one is the Inuzuka clan leader, Sume. Sume has an animalistic look that has made her the hottest MILFs in Konoha. She has long spiky brown hair, vertical slit-like pupils, elongated canine teeth and nails. She also has the clan Fong markings on her cheeks as well as markings over her eyes and a dark shade of purple lipstick. She wears the standard outfit of a Konoha shinobi outfit. The next one is the stoic and analytical Shibi Aburame. Shibi, like all members of his clan, has his eyes obscured. He wears dark glasses with a tassel hanging down from them. He has very spiky short black hair and a mustache. He wears a high-collared outfit and carries a large gourd on his back. He is the leader of the Aburame clan. The next one to come in was the arrogant Fugaku Uchiha. Fugaku has short, brown hair and onyx eyes with visible creases below them made more pronounced whenever he adopts a stern look. He wears a black robe with gray pants with the clan symbol on the back when not on duty. While in his Jonin uniform, he wears the standard ninja vest, a black t-shirt with the Konoha Military Police Force symbol, and a black cloak with white diamonds on the bottom that stops just before his ankles. On his right shoulder he has the Uchiha symbol tattoo. He is the second Jonin commander. The one to come after the arrogant Uchiha clan leader is the stoically arrogant Hayashi Hyuga. He has long dark brown hair and featureless white eyes like all members of his clan. He normally wears very traditional, loose-fitting robes. He has a tattoo of the Hyuga clan's symbol on his wrist. He is the clan head of the Hyuga family and the third Jonin commander. The civilian council came in. The next one to come in is the elder Danzo Shimura. Danzo appeared as an old frail man, who would normally walk with a cane. He had black shaggy hair, and his right eye is kept bandaged. Danzo has had an X-shaped scar on his chin ever since his youth. He wore a white shirt, with a brown robe over top of it covering from his feet to just over his right shoulder. Right next to Danzo is Hamura Mitokado. Hamura has gray hair, a beard, glasses as well as a constant frown that he's always worn, even in his youth. As an elder he wears the similar clothing as the Hokage. Hamura's partner in crime and when they were younger, lover is Koharu Yutane. Koharu's hair has grayed, and she has aged gracefully. As a member of the elder team, Koharu wears a simple long kimono, held closed by an obi, a jacket, and a sash over it. The pearls on her hair needle have also increased and tassels were added to the other end. Her earrings are also considerably longer. Koharu has taken to squinting, barely opening her eyes at any point in time. She was the first to speak. She asked, Sarutobi, may you please enlighten us as to why we are here for 1 and 2 why are the 7 swordsmen of the mist are in Konoha without at least 3 squads of ANBU watching them? Oh, how Hiruzen was going to enjoy this. He said, well while I have been doing paperwork for the last few hours and I've been thinking. You know I've gotten requests to kill poor Naruto-kun, give the civilian council a squad of ANBU to watch over them. Hell I even got one that wanted to spread the wealth of the Uzumaki, Namikaze, and Senju bank accounts. Of course, I denied every request. Yet I thought to myself, who do you think you all are? I am the Sandaime Hokage. You guys are nothing but advisors and messengers. For example, civilian council you have become a parasite. Now I'm a nice Kaga so I'm giving you a choice. You can resign, get about 10% of the money you earned, and you can be with your families. Or you can stay right here and with your lack of skills to fight and be put in a coma or worse death. You have 1 second. As quick as their fat asses could take them, they split. Sarutobi still had that stern, serious look on his face. He slowly turned his head towards the shinobi council. They flinched at Sarutobi's gaze. He said, now since they are gone from this council, it's time to deal with you guys. I'm going to tell you this once I'm in control. I'm the head honcho, the big chief, the big Hokage. Remember you are my subordinates. That means in the way Konoha runs you have absolutely no say-so. Your main job and obligation are to give messages to your clan and give me suggestions. The only ones who are excluded from this are Shikaku, Fugaku, and Hayashi. They are only excluded from this because of the fact that Shikaku is our main strategist. Fugaku and Hayashi are the leaders of Konoha's police forces. So, if you think more important than me, you better pick up your clan and run, because I'm not having it. Fugaku winced slightly, but not enough for anyone to notice. Sarutobi continued, now I'm going to tell a few things. The first thing is about the Ninja Academy. The rules are going to change. I don't give a flying fuck if we only have one genin come out of the academy. With the new assessment, they must learn more than 3 weak-ass jutsu. You want to pass, you must know more than spelling, math, and other stuff like that. They will be groomed as true blue ninja, just like it used to be. The Shinobi Council seemed to like this idea. Their forces needed skilled ninjas, not a bundle number of half-baked ninjas. They shook their head in agreement. Sarutobi was not done. He said, now I'm going to tell you what's going to happen and you're going to shut up and listen. We are going to help the rebels in Kirigakure no Sato. The people with bloodlines and people who support them will be granted asylum in Konoha. Fugaku once again winced, as this was a big problem in the Uchiha plans. So, for now he will be thinking of what to do. With this being the case, I am allowing you to give me suggestions on what should we ask for in return. Remember that what you want is not necessarily what you will get. 2 hours later. The Shinobi Council has finally all left. He did notice something was off. Fugaku is normally a blowhard request, asinine requests and such. This time Fugaku was extremely quiet. It was too quiet for his tastes. He became suspicious as to why he was so quiet. He was getting an ulcer from the thoughts going through his head. As he was popping acid reducers, someone came into his office. It was an ANBU captain with a weasel mask on. Sarutobi then put on his stern leadership face. He said, "Weasel, please take off your mask." The ANBU took off his mask, revealing Itachi Uchiha. He, like all members of his clan, possessed dark gray eyes, black hair that hung near his cheeks to frame his face, and a long ponytail in the back of his hair. Itachi's most distinguishing characteristics were the long pronounced tear troughs under his eyes. He is wearing his casual clothes that consist of a black Uchiha shirt with a large Uchiha clan symbol on the back, and black pants with a weapons pouch strapped to them. Itachi said, "Hello Hokage-sama. I have something of deep concern for Konoha." Hiruzen noticed that this was deeply serious. Itachi was never one to joke around, especially with the safety of Konoha. Sarutobi just said one word, "Explain." Itachi said, "The Uchiha are trying to do a coup d'état on Konoha. What they are doing is deploying members of the Uchiha clan to Kiri." Sarutobi cut him off for a moment as he asked, "What does the Uchiha want with the civil war in Kiri?" There is a rumor that Yagura has been under a genjutsu. It sounds like a likable story as of Yagura's past. He himself has a Kekkai Genkai. The Uchiha, including myself, have a superiority complex. With that being the case and the fact that Kiri has more bloodlines than Konoha. My father received a letter to deploy the members of the Uchiha family to Konoha to take over Kiri. If they take over, they will come for Konoha next. They would have better metals, jutsus, and so much more. This will make them more equipped to kill Konoha. Hiruzen surprisingly not surprised by this much. He has known that the Uchihas are not Konoha's real ally. The very thought that they will kill bloodlines to take over Kiri and then to Konoha made Hiruzen's ulcer worse. He said, Itachi, what do you think we should do? Itachi sighed, I have been thinking about this for a while, to be perfectly honest. This conspiracy has been going on for 3 years now. They just couldn't find a location or a plan to do it. I find that there is really no other way to stop it now without a civil war occurring. I know one way that can do it, and I'm ready to do it. Sarutobi could tell that the emotionless Itachi had full of emotions in his statement. This made Sarutobi curious as to what was Itachi's plan. He said, Itachi-kun, what is your proposal? Hokage-sama, the only way to stop the Uchiha is to eradicate them. The Hokage's eyes widened considerably. That is huge. He could see why Itachi had such stress in his eyes. To kill your family, to save strangers that you don't even know is deep. Sarutobi asked, are you sure, Itachi-kun? No one is asking you to do this. May I ask as to why you want to do this? Hokage-sama, I am truly sure. The reason I want no need to do this is because of what the civil war does to families. I was a young genin when the third ninja war ended. I was at Takigakure and killed members of families. Some I even had to kill in front of them. It was hurtful to kill a child's parents right in front of them. When the Kyuubi went on a rampage in Konoha, I started to get flashbacks from the war and saw their deaths. I vowed to myself that if I were ever given the chance to stop it, I will do it at all costs. I have seen what happens to children of war. At least this way Sasuke Utoto will still be able to be friends with others than feeling that he himself is all by himself. I also have been under suspicion with the Uchiha clan for a while, especially since I unlocked the Mangekyo Sharingan. Sarutobi had to admit that the Third Ninja War took a heavy toll on Itachi's mind. He sighed to himself. There has to be something he could at least give Itachi. He asked, Itachi-kun, is there anything you want in return for this burden? Itachi already knew what he wanted from the get-go. He said, there are a few things I want. I want you to keep this a secret from Sasuke. I want him to purify the clan's name. Second, my Kaya-sen is dying a horrible death. Her chakra was tainted with the Kyuubi's destructive chakra. With the destructive chakra in her system, anytime she has used chakra she dies a little bit more. The only way she can be saved is to put her in those chambers that keep people alive as the chakra runs the course out of her body. I want her to be able to live her life not under a regime of being an Uchiha. The only other thing I want is for Naruto-kun to be safe and out of the village. I know that without me there won't be any ANBU to truly save him when he is being hunted down. After this massacre is done with, they will blame him by saying that the Kyuubi took control or something like that. He shouldn't be subjugated by the acts of the Kyuubi no Kitsune. He was only a few minutes born, how could he cause that much destruction? That is the only thing I want. Hiruzen's heartstrings were being pulled. Itachi Uchiha, the man who will kill his whole family on one night, only wants 3 things. The boy, no man has made a decision that will forever change Konoha. He sighed as this massacre of every man, woman, and child practically will be on his old conscience forever. He only hopes that as he gets older that he might get dementia and forget everything. He looked at Itachi with a sad smile. He said, Itachi-kun, I agree to your terms. I will put your mother in that facility. I will not tell your brother about what you have done and let him believe he is the only one that can purify the Uchiha's name. And I will let young Naruto leave the village. I'm going to send him with the 7 swordsmen. I am truly sorry that it has to be this way. I wish there was an alternative. I guess we have no other choice. When are you going to do this? Itachi said, tonight. Naruto an hour later. Naruto woke up after all the things he was taught today. He was taught how to unleash his chakra, how he could control it from Jinin, some physical workout like push-ups, sit-ups, and crunches from Zabu Zabu. Some stealth training from Kushimaru, some censoring tips from Jinpachi, some few ninjutsu like sealing supplies from Mengetsu, and finally how to cook fish by Kisame. Right now, he was going to Gigi's office to say goodbye to his new friends. As he walked with them, he felt a sense of worth and belonging but also a sense of foreboding. He walked into Gigi's office. Sarutobi said, Hello Naruto-kun and the 7 swordsmen. Naruto-kun, can stay outside for a moment? Naruto nodded furiously and left outside. Sarutobi put his stern face on. He looked at the 7 and said, Now that Naruto cannot hear us, we can get down to business. Konoha will help the rebels in your fight. We will give your people refuge here. We just want a few things from you guys. Amuri narrowed his eyes to see what the Hokage wants. He said, I'm listening. The Hokage said, Well, we just want a few water jutsus, a connection with the brand new Kiri, and finally the last one is more of a personal request. I want you to take Naruto-kun with you. I want you to train him and let him come back within 12 years or when he is done with training. Amuri's eyes bugged out a little bit. He thought that Konoha would ask for something totally asinine. All he wanted was some jutsu, a partnership, and to train a boy who they all for some reason like. Zabuza and Kisame liked the boy because they were treated like monsters. Kushimaru is lanky and sometimes as energetic as Naruto. Jinin likes him because he loved to learn. Jinpachi likes him because just like his distinct eye patch and black lips, Naruto also has distinctive marks on his face. Mengetsu liked him because he reminded him of his little brother Suigetsu. Finally, Amuri likes Naruto because he is short. They have no problem teaching him how to be a ninja. Amuri said, This is very acceptable offer, Hokage-sama. We accept. Do you want to tell Naruto, or should we? Sarutobi pulled out 4 scrolls and gave them to Amuri. He said, Right here are his clothes, some different techniques that he can learn. There is some equipment such as kunai, shuriken, and other weapons he may need. If he gets mistreated or killed, all bets are off. Got it? Hiruzen put a lot of killing intent into his threat. They were all affected by it. Naruto, who was outside with the secretary, said, Secretary-san, why are you on the ground sweating? Amuri had to admit in Naruto's case ignorance is bliss. Amuri said, We understand, Hokage-sama. We will let you tell Naruto. They got up and walked of the office. Let the Sandaime talk to Naruto. Sarutobi looked at the small 5-year-old boy with a sad smile. He was going to miss Naruto a lot. He was like a grandson to him. He told himself it was for the best for Naruto. Yet there is always that doubt that creeps in. He said, Naruto, how would you like to explore the world? Naruto jumped up and down. He said, can I, Gigi? Really, can I go? Can I go? Hiruzen had a tear go down his face. He nodded. He said, Naruto-kun, I'm letting you go with Amuri and the 7 swordsmen of the mist. They are going to travel all around the world. You will learn some new techniques and how to be a super great ninja. Naruto-kun, I want you to have fun. I know you might get a little homesick, so I'm putting a symbol on you so I can talk to you whenever you want to talk. Naruto started to cry a little bit as the statement finally processed what that meant. He was not going to be with Gigi on his adventures. He hugged the old man as Gigi told that everything will be all right. Naruto wiped his eyes with his sleeve and gave the Sandaime a big, wide, toothy smile. He said, Gigi, when I come back you better be ready for me to take that hat away. After all, I'm going to be Hokage de Tibio. This made the old man smile. Naruto would be a great Hokage one day. He patted Naruto's head and sent him off. Later that night, as Naruto and the 7 swordsmen were leaving, something was coming in. Naruto walked away not knowing that the rain will forever wash away the old Konoha. As it has always been with soil, sun and water, a seed will always be able to grow. Naruto started to cry a little bit as the statement finally processed what that meant. He was not going to be with Gigi on his adventures. He hugged the old man as Gigi told that everything will be all right. Naruto wiped his eyes with his sleeve and gave the Sandaime a big, wide, toothy smile. He said, Gigi, when I come back you better be ready for me to take that hat away. After all, I'm going to be Hokage de Tibio. This made the old man smile. Naruto would be a great Hokage one day. He patted Naruto's head and sent him off. Later that night, as Naruto and the 7 swordsmen were leaving, something was coming in. Naruto walked away not knowing that the rain will forever wash away the old Konoha. As it has always been with soil, sun and water, a seed will always be able to grow. Chapter 3, Land of Ice. Naruto was walking with the 7 swordsmen of the mist. Well, actually he is being carried on the back of Kisame. He was a little too small to jump from tree to tree. Plus his energy was low from the various training. He was slowly but surely falling asleep. Kisame looked over to Amuri and said, Aim, what are we going to train the Gaki in first? Aim thought about for a moment. What were they going to teach Naruto-kun? They all are going to teach him their personal styles. With this it includes physical training, throwing, chakra training, fuinjutsu training, eating correctly, and diplomacy, which including the ability to read and write. He said, okay guys, Kisame brought up a good point. What are we going to teach Naruto-kun? How I see it, we are going to each teach him something an hour a day. Then I thought about making an alternate teaching schedule. I will write it down to show you what it is. For now, let's get some rest at the nearest village. While there, I will be writing the schedule. I believe Naruto-kun here has the potential to be a swordsman. After all, he is a Namikaze and an Uzumaki. The rest of the team agreed. Mindscape. Naruto was blissfully unaware of how his life is being scheduled. Right now, he was in a sewer. For what felt like hours of walking, he reached a point where he saw a single pipe. As he was walking around, he kept seeing more and more pipes. Some pipes had a gel-like liquid that were red, blue, purple, and white. It was flowing into a big orb. As the orb was receiving the gel, it pulsed. He walked towards the orb. As he touched the orb, at first nothing happened. Then it turned deeply red. It pulsed and forced Naruto back. He hit the wall and became unconscious. As he was fading away, a certain little vixen was peeking around the orb. Outside world. Naruto opened his eyes, not knowing where he is. He rubbed his eyes to see if he sees anything familiar. He got out of the bed that he noticed he was laying on. He walked towards the door and opened it. He saw that Zabuza was waiting for him. He said, "Zabuzabu-sensei, where are we?" Zabuza's eye twitched. He really hated that nickname. He said, "Gaki, let's get going. We're going to meet with the others." Naruto got out of the room and followed Zabuza. Naruto asked once again, "Zabu-sensei, where are we?" Zabuza replied, "Gaki, we are in the hotel in Isu no Kuni. The land of ice is a quarter of a way from Kirigakure. There are 4 lands between Kiri and Konoha. This is the first one starting from Konoha. The next one after it is Yugon no Kuni. The next one is Nami no Kuni. Then finally Juki no Kuni. The 4 are connected from Konoha to Kiri. The travel from Konoha to Kiri starts here. At the land of ice's peak there is lava. The ice here is special as it takes so long to melt. An average-sized boat of ice can last at least 5 hours on the lava. When the boat reaches the land of lava, the built-up ice around it causes a waterfall and waves. When you go down to the land of waves, you start to see the land of steam. If you go down a little further, you will reach Kiri. Naruto's little bright blue eyes were wide as that sounded so cool. He little mind was thinking a question. He asked, "Zabu-sensei, what is the river called?" Zabuza replied, "The river is called the River of 4 Corners or the Catalyst River. It is said that there is a land that's name escapes me. It is said when that land well disappeared is the best way to describe it, the river appeared. The river is said to protect and hide the land. Now what I meant to tell you is your training regime. The land of ice has the average temperature of -21 degrees. This a perfect place to train." Naruto looked at Zabuza as if he was crazy. He stuttered, "What do you mean that this is the perfect place to train? It is so cold outside." Zabuza had a shark-eating grin on his face even though it is concealed by the wrappings. He said, "That's the best part. The shivering cold will help you in your future training." Naruto was a little scared. He did notice, however, that it is extremely hot in the halls. Now, as anyone with the slightest bit of common sense would want to know why. He asked, "Zabu-sensei, why is it extremely hot in here if it is cold outside?" Zabuza had to admit it feels actually pretty good to feel like a real sensei. The boy is a kid of curiosity. Usually, that is in the middle of good and bad for ninja. He said, well Naruto, the ice that encases the hotel is the same that is used on the river. Remember, most lava is stronger than fire. The fire is insulated by the ice as it takes a long while for the ice to even get a little melt. The fire's smoke actually gets purified. The smoke reaches a spinning filter that has the ability to clean and purify it by have something enzymes eat it. Naruto exclaimed, so a big monster named Emsni comes and eats the smoke? That's so cool. Can we meet him? I want to see how he eats it. Zabuza looked at the kid like he was stupid. He realized that the brat was still only 5 years old. He thought about the monster comparison is a way for Naruto to understand what's going on. He said, a little bit later, Gaki. We have to make time for you to start your initial training. Half an hour. Naruto and Zabuza saw the others outside waiting for them. He was surprised that some of them were shirtless. He looked up at Zabuza with deep confusion. He asked, Zabu-sensei, why don't the others have a shirt on? Zabuza grinned and said, this is your first start of training you will receive. Go talk to Aim over there. Naruto hesitantly walked outside. He felt the cold brute force of cold air hit him. He jumped back inside as his little body was freezing. Aim Yuri shook his head as he sighed. He said, Naruto-kun, you have to come out here if you want to be a super great ninja. Naruto hid behind Zabuza, shaking his head saying no. Zabuza was not one for games, lifted Naruto up by his orange jacket. He walked outside with the shivering Naruto in one hand. He held Naruto up as Aim Yuri explained to Naruto the schedule they have for him. Naruto-kun, trust me, I know it's cold here, but if you want to be a good ninja you must endure things such as frozen weather. With that point being said, we are going to teach you to train your chakra. If you train your chakra correctly you can use it to do many things. People believe that you can only do jutsus and things like that. That is true, but it can also do some other things. Zabuza, bring him into the hotel. I will explain things in there. I want you guys to set up your training stations. Zabuza simply grunted his response. He carried Naruto, who was looking like an icicle, into the hotel, then dropped him. Naruto rubbed his backside as he just realized falling hurts. Aim Yuri came in and said, Naruto-kun, come here for a minute. Naruto walked over to Aim Yuri and plopped on the ground. Aim saw that he had Naruto's attention, started to speak. Naruto-kun, you saw the others shirtless and not affected by the ice. The reason we weren't affected was because of the manipulation of something called chakra. Do you know what chakra is, Naruto-kun? Naruto shook his head. Aim Yuri explained, Naruto-kun, chakra is an essence of life. Think of it as a big gel-like battery. You know how toys have that battery that makes it start? Well, that's what chakra is. If chakra is a big battery, then it has more uses than using jutsus, right? Naruto nodded yes. You're right. Think about it as taking the battery out of your toy and putting it in another toy that uses the exact same battery. Well, chakra is the same way. Chakra is the power source that makes jutsus work. Yet Naruto-kun, chakra can be used as an external heating system. Remember when I taught you to unlock your chakra and it took form? Well, it is the same way. You can control your chakra by doing various types of exercises. For example, from what I've heard, Konoha meditate leaves, kunais, shuriken and various things like that. I do know, however, that they do something called tree walking. In Kiri it's so much different. Sure, we both learn the ability to walk on water. The initial stage is different. In Kiri, we do temperature changing. Temperature changing is a much more harder to do. You see, with the change of chakra you can make it as a thermostat. You can make the chakra make your body extremely hot or extremely cold. With the mere low use of chakra you can make your body cold as ice. With the use of more chakra you can turn your body as hot as fire. Naruto seemed to understand. He knew what a thermostat was, because the matron of the orphanage used to grab him and show him the thermostat and put it at 0 degrees. She then closed the door on him and left him to freeze. He started to shake his head to try and forget the memories. Unknown to Naruto, Yuri saw the wince that Naruto did unintentionally. Yuri noticed that Naruto tried to forget, so he didn't say anything. He continued, Naruto-kun, we are going to start this training by going outside. We are going to unleash our chakra and try to harness it. I want you to hold my hand so you can feel the change in temperature. Naruto grabbed the man's hand. It felt normal, like a 73-degree temperature. As they stepped outside, Naruto felt Yuri's chakra rise. In addition, he felt the man's temperature rise. His eyes became wide in surprise. Yuri smirked as Naruto thought this was so cool. He said, okay, Naruto-kun, unleash your chakra. Naruto unleashed his chakra as asked. Yuri released Naruto's hand. Naruto's chakra blew up. His chakra was all around him, glowing a deep blue. Yet the look of Naruto's face showed how much chakra he was using. His face was sweating as his chakra was extremely hot and was starting to burn the ice. Aim put his hand on Naruto to get Naruto's attention. Naruto stopped unleashing the chakra as his concentration was broken by Aim. He looked up at the man and said, Aim-sensei, is that how it's supposed to be? Aim had a smile on his face and tapped him on the shoulder. He said, Naruto-kun, you've gotten the initial part. You see, you released your chakra and kept it from coming down. You see, you must be able to keep your body's temperature at the exact same degree. The heat must expand to every part of your body. That's what makes it so hard. You must channel chakra on every part of your body. When you are able to do this, you can climb trees with no hands, as your body will be able to change how much chakra or battery power you need. Naruto beamed as he got a part of it down. He went into concentration and started to work on the task at hand. Yet the more he concentrated, the more his head started to throb. It wasn't from the concentration, but something even more devious. Kirigakure. In the Mizukage's office, two people were plotting and planning. The first one was standing up. He was the current Mizukage, Yagura. Yagura has messy gray hair, pink pupilless eyes and what seems to be a stitch-like scar running from under his left eye all the way down his cheek. He has a dull expression and wears a gray undershirt with short mesh sleeves, which has a metal plate of a Kirigakure forehead protector sewn onto it, over which he also wears a green poncho. A turquoise sash around his waist, paired with a green indument over his pants. He wears a pair of brown boots opened on the back, and on his back he carries a staff-like pole weapon with uneven hooks with a green flower on the end of the larger hook. He said to the one sitting down, "My lord, is the plan going as planned?" The person who had his head down had a huge smirk on his face. The person did not look up as he knew everything was coming to fruition. All he needs is the key to come out of hiding. He said, "Why yes, Yagura-kun, everything is going according to place. The world will be under my control. Now the Uchiha clan's destruction is crucial. They were merely in the way. Poor Itachi-kun having to sacrifice himself by killing those stupid fools. Unfortunately, it will all be for naught. Konoha's demise is around the corner. Then the world's demise is next. We are going to work on taking out the rebels. We are to unleash it. It will definitely draw them out. Hopefully they will bring the key to me." The person started to laugh maniacally. His lone eye showed the boy with the blonde hair. Naruto. Naruto felt like passing out. The chakra control was extremely hard to do. If it was easy, then everyone and anybody can be a ninja. Since that's not the case, it's not easy. Naruto opened his eyes as he was starting to get it. Yet as he was forming his chakra into a heater, his headache grew. It was getting worse and worse. It was until he passed out on the floor that the pain stopped. Luckily, Naruto able to get in safely by Kisame. 2 hours later, Naruto woke up to see the seven looking into his face. Kisame was the first to speak. "Gaki, you okay? You passed out on the ground. What happened?" Naruto put his hand on the back of his head. He said, "Well, all I remember is that I was changing the temperature. Once I was starting to get into it, I started to have pains in my head. It got so bad that I fell back and went sleep. That's all I remember." Yuri started to have suspicions with this headache. He put it aside for now as it was not as important. He said, "Okay, Naruto, take a rest for the remainder of the day. Tomorrow we will work on your physical fitness, eating habits, and seals. For tonight, I will let you eat whatever you want." Naruto was surprised as he was going to learn different things. He always wanted to learn something. His stomach did growl though as he was hungry. He said, "I want miso ramen, please." Kisame gave Naruto a predator-type grin. He put his hand on Naruto's small shoulder. He said, "Gaki, from what I've seen in your body physique, you have been deprived of your nutrients. You also have been eating lots of ramen. Don't worry about eating ramen tonight. Tomorrow will be a different story. We will get you back into healthy shape in no time." Naruto looked up at Kisame and asked, "Nasame-sensei, I have a question. Why are you the one who is teaching me about foods? In addition, how do you know so much about food?" The seven swordsmen except Kisame groaned. With the exception of fighting, Kisame loved talking about food. No matter if it is seaweed or a turkey or even a whale. If you can cook it, Kisame knows about it. Kisame said, Gaki, the 7 swordsmen of the mist are more than just plain old swordsmen. We all have other abilities and responsibilities to the 7. Zabuza is the physical instructor. He makes sure we stay in shape. Amuri is the diplomat and overall leader of the group. Kushimaru actually sews our materials such as armor and clothing together, especially during battle. Jinin is actually a fully licensed blacksmith who has the ability to make metals and create weapons. Jinpachi is able to sense anyone with the bloodline to create an invisible force field that can make us more aware of our surroundings and things like that. He also our team medic. Mengetsu is the seal master of our team. He is able to create seals that can make weapon animate like the Samahata and the Hiramakarei. He can also create seals that make the Kubakirabocho repair itself and the splash survive 1,000 explosion tabs and not get a single scratch on it. Me on the other hand bave a different responsibility. I am the team's cook. I can cook anything and everything. With me being the cook, I also have the responsibility to be the team's dietitian. I am to make sure that the team stay healthy and doesn't get poisoned by food. I also know what is edible and what's not. I can also tell you what you need to eat and how to convert calories and carbs into energy that can be that extra boost. So overall Gaki, we all have a job to do. We are not only going to teach you Kenjutsu and chakra control. We are going to teach the other specialties that we have. So Gaki, don't worry your malnourished body. We are going to get you into shape and get you ready to be the greatest Hokage. Naruto jumped up and yelled, yeah, I'm going to be the greatest Hokage to ever exist. Detibio the 7 looked at Kisame. None of them knew Kisame could be charismatic. He just shrugged his shoulders as he himself didn't know. This boy has started to bring out different sides of them that didn't know existed. As time has gone on, Naruto is slowly changing from Gaki to Otudo.